This video is the challenging haircut story. This is definitely like one of the most challenging haircuts I've ever had. One, because I never experienced, what, one of his conditions is having um, pandas. And pandas, from what I was told, was that it's what happens when a child gets strep throat and the bacteria finds its way to the brain, and then how it affects the brain. On top of him also having autism. And so, it's my first time experiencing it. His mom had put into the intake form, what the challenges was, but, I didn't know what to expect in person because, from what I've used to experience. And the reality is that, her being a mom, her focus was on finding a safe space and a person that can cut her son's hair without passing judgment. And as you watch this video, how he is, he's not really out in public a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so, then when she did have him out in public, you can imagine, you can read even in some of the comments of how people react and respond to how he is. And so, me telling or me refusing service wasn't an option for me, no matter how hard it was going to be. We had a team of men that were there for him, doing the best that they can, that are his 24-hour caretakers, doing the best that they can to create an environment that we can be managed, that he can be managed in the safest way possible, without hurting him, and protecting ourselves in the same token. And one of the things that make cutting hair for children that are teenagers versus than those that are cutting teenagers' hair versus then cutting children's hair is because when I'm cutting a child's hair, a child, strength-wise, patience-wise, and allowing-wise, can be a lot more different and forgiving. And I can really groom them in the most safest way possible to become more comfortable, have a longer amount of time in a softer way and opportunity to like mature them and groom them into the haircut process, right? But with a teenager, if they haven't had someone like me in their life, in the haircut process, they a lot of times can be fixed on situation, and they're deeply rooted in their how they are responding to the stimuli, and they're stronger, and it takes a lot more to manage them, and so it could be it's definitely a challenge. And I just rather, a lot of times work with children, but every now and again, if God sends a child my way that, that needs my services, I'm always do the best I can and to put the child first. Preparing, since I never know a lot of times of what to, what to expect with a child coming. This was his first time coming to see me. I never know, but I know emotionally what I do to prepare myself is on my off days, on my off time, everything I can to really rest and to reset my heart. I do a prayer. I am always bringing my challenges before God, bringing my heart, bringing my gratitude, and walking and living from a place of gratitude, and receiving all the gifts in forms of affirmations, and in forms of conversations, and in forms of just the small and big miracles that happen in my life before I get to work. So my heart is full, and I'm only sharing the energy that I have, and I have a capacity to receive whatever is going to happen in that process as well, without losing my value and knowing who I am and who has me. And in this video, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though it's tough watching the video from, from you all's perspective, and it was hard for me to experience it as well. And, it's hard for the mom too. The mom, was a trigger. So she sat outside and allowed us to do what we can do in a situation. But there was a moment where in this video where, that even though it was so challenging, It was so challenging to experience him go through this. The most beautiful thing was this moment when he's right here. You know, like that moment right there, yo. Good job. You know, I be so busy being busy that I don't always get the opportunity to be present with the work that I do. But you know, like the hurricane of the experience, the hurricane of what we were all fighting around, right? The eye of the storm when he calms down and he sees himself after the haircut and he says, "Oh wow, oh good job." Like, how can you see anything other than that? Like, how can you be selfish and focus on anything other like that moment, you know? Yeah. And that just is and that's the work I get to do. That's the work I get to do. That's what I've been called to do. That's what I've been allowed to do. And I'm beyond grateful for it.